All right, mic is on. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Let me know if you can hear. Also see the screen. Should be good to go. What's going on, Bucket? What's going on, Malika? You my boy Blue. Old school movie. Will Ferrell. You my boy Blue. What's going on, Bobby? What's going on, Tammy? Donnie Footnotes in the house. Is this the options class? No, it's live trading. Let's go. Joe Frank's in here. Mr. Blue, TradePhantoms.com. Hopefully everybody's having a good start of the week. It's going to be the 9th of April, 2026. And I will be your guide, your host, going through, I should say, some pre-market prep. Start out with some futures, and then kind of prepare some levels, and then take us into the open at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And if I see a valid setup, we'll deploy some risk and see how that outcome might come around here. Just look, TradePhantoms.com. See some Phantoms members in here. Awesome, as always. And let's just kick this off here. Of course, we all should know, kind of what's going on in the backdrop. One thing we don't do at Phantoms is, politics. At the front door. But we have the main backdrop, of course, with is it a ceasefire, non-ceasefire? Who knows? So far right now, we are at a ceasefire. Yesterday was a big rip to the upside, mainly done overnight. But we'll see kind of what today offers, etc. Just here's ForexFactory.com. Nothing too crazy here. Just looking at if there is some planned economic news that we have going forward. Not much here for today. We did have about 20 odd minutes ago, give or take, core PCE and final GDP as some data points that came out. The markets just basically eye-rolled that, meaning that it didn't really react off of that at all for the most part. So, what's taking essentially front and center is, of course, the issues that are going on geopolitical and the bombs being thrown, etc. So we'll see, right? Ceasefire now, and as always, blah blah blah. We're always going to be trading the price action in the tape, no matter what. So as always, when we get to the charts and plan out some levels above and below, and see where we're going to be opening. Let's kick this off real quick. I always bring this document up every single morning, no matter what. I just got the S&P futures. Whoa, that's going to be too many notes. We'll get to that. Let me clean it up a little bit. Probably not as much, but get the weekly time frame of the SPY on the left, daily time frame here on the right. And again, I just bring this document up every single morning. This one here should look familiar if this is not your first time here. IOF, institutional demand and supply, is going to be how markets work and the main strategy here at Phantoms. Top-down multiple time frame analysis approach, right? So you're going to see three major colors: orange, yellow, and blue on my charts. Very important here in that anything that you see in the orange color code is going to be associated with the monthly time frame. So, for example, monthly high, monthly low, you'll see highlighted in orange. If you see any VWAPs, volume weighted average price, that is going to be, if it's in orange, that's going to be the monthly VWAP. Color code for weekly is going to be yellow. Last week's high, last week's low, highlighted in yellow. VWAP for the week, highlighted in yellow. Blue is going to be the color code for daily time frame. So as you can see here, yesterday's high, yesterday's low, highlighted there in blue. This massive gap up yesterday, up 2.5% on the S&Ps. Okay, we'll see what today offers here. But highlighted here in blue is going to be the daily time frame. We got a bunch of candlesticks, a bunch of fancy names, context, location being more important. So we're preferably going to be looking for these candlesticks in the context of uptrends, at demand levels. Bearish candlesticks, preferably in the context of downtrends at supply levels. Okay, we're going to be looking for these candlestick prints at the context and location properly. Bring this down into the liquidity map. This is extremely important. We talk about this more in some of the classes where we have more due time. We're going to be applying this here live in the live trade rooms, as you'll see me trade live. But we have the liquidity map, as we call it, two actions in the markets, buys and sells, demand and supply. However, there's four possibilities because we have accumulation and distribution. So if you were to be a bullish and you were to buy to enter, you'd want that market to go up. Now, after you bought to enter, you are a market participant as a willing seller, as a distribution. Okay, so if you bought to enter and the market's rally, you'd sell to exit to realize your gain. If you bought to enter and the market's dropped below your level or your violation of your entry point or your setup, well, you'd have to sell to exit to realize your loss, as you should. That's a distribution order. All right, so buy to enter, accumulation. Sell to exits are going to be distributions. Sell short to enter is going to be an accumulation of a bearish order where you want the market to go down. And if it does, you'd have to buy the cover to exits to realize your gain if it's going your proper way to the downside. If you sell short to enter, you want the market to go down. If it goes up and it's violating your setup and your thesis, you have to buy the cover to exit to get out, okay, as a distribution order. Okay, what makes more markets go up? More demand. What makes that demand? Accumulation of buys, okay, and also buy two covers to exits. What makes the market go down? More supply. Sell to exits, okay, going to be number one. And then we have also sell short to enter, which is an accumulation of order of supply or bearish. Okay, we talk about this is a heavy concept, how markets work, just liquidity wise. We break this down into 4 quadrants: 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 4 are downtrend, 3 and 2 are an uptrend. And again, in classes, we dissect this a lot more in terms of buying pullbacks and levels of demand at mean reversion, for example, selling to equal to or higher high extensions to the upside. For downtrends, sell short rallies into supply, mean reversion, okay, in the context of downtrend. Then we buy to cover the exits on the extensions equal to or new lower lows. Again, that's a pretty heavy topic. You have to go to TradePhantoms.com here, go take some of those classes there, and then you'd understand. Hopefully, you understand what that is all about, so you can apply it live in your personal life in trading. All right, cool. Done with that. Futures. I'm just going to go to the major 4 indexes here. Just to take a peek. What's going on, Samantha Gross? Naughty Footnotes in the house. Amy Bell. Dr. Julie Woods in the house. Let's go. Yeah, this on-off ceasefire definitely, you don't even know what's true anymore. You just never even know anymore these days. Going into the new decade of 2030 is going to be just interesting as a human being in general. Getting really weird out here. Already been weird. Getting even more weirder in this world. So, I don't know. I'm here for a good time, not a long time, just soaking it in. Thank God I'm a trader, so I can know how to kind of navigate certain things. Anyways, you get the S&P futures upper left negative 0.24. NASDAQ futures on the upper right negative 0.17. We got the Dow Jones at the bottom left here negative 0.33. And then we got the Russell 2000, which is relatively more weaker here today, 0.67. The Russell small caps have been kind of dry all year, so just be careful trading the small caps here. So look at the supply again. Yep, 90 footnote. A lot of folks coming into supply, a lot of tickers coming into some supply. We'll look right back into the pre-Iran range October through February plus no movement overnight. So after this morning's data, yeah, pretty quiet right now for right now. So we'll see. So we're still kind of in a digestion kind of, I'd say, kind of a day or two from yesterday's big move there. We were talking about that yesterday, even in pre-market prep yesterday in the live trade room with the team. One of the things we have to be watch out with, and this was yesterday, but we also have to talk about it here today too, is just after a big move like that, right? You kind of have some kind of digestion, if you will, kind of like, just had a holiday, right? If you had some holidays and you're eating a lot of food over the weekend, right? And all you want to do is like kind of sit down and like digest that, right? So the markets had a nice big pump there. So yesterday was kind of a digestion day in that. So let me go back over here to the other chart where we have a bunch of notes on it right now. The NASDAQ, I will say, because the key takeaway from this here is going to be at the moment, the NASDAQ is, even though it's down, it's relatively stronger than the other major 4 indexes. Okay, so that's a key note there. So if this market opens up and the bulls come out, okay, if this holds true, I'd be focusing a bit more on the NASDAQ bullish, as that is a bit more relatively more stronger than the major 4 indexes. Okay, we'll see what that looks like, of course, at the open. And I'm going to switch over into Trading View here and go over to the S&P futures. All right. I got a weekly time frame on the left. Got it marked up. This pretty intense here. You got a daily time frame here on the right. Okay, so we don't want to get too far in the weeds, too far in the back here. But obviously we have this nice big move for so far this week. Okay, we did take out, of course, prior week's high here. We had a couple of weekly highs here. One here, one here. There is still one right here that has not been tagged yet. That I'm kind of looking at here for potentially today. I'll talk a little bit about these price points above here. Emphasize as well, I'm not sure if we're going to get this hit today, but make sure you have on your radar the March high. This is S&P futures, by the way, daily time frame here on the right, weekly on the left. Make sure you have on your radar this March high. okay, that comes in about S&P's 6911. Okay, that is going to be in the event that if I were to say out of all these levels, this weekly high here that got blown out, this weekly high that got blown out, you have another weekly high here. But then if we go up, we have a monthly high here. Okay, out of all these levels here, the monthly time frame is going to be more important here. So make sure that is on your radar. Again, I don't want to go too far in the backdrop here, but if you remember, I don't know if you've been around for a little while, even on YouTube, we were talking about these monthly lows here in November, September. It's old now. Okay, how powerful these monthly time frames are. Okay, so it's going to be happening potentially here on the other end. Now, I'm not saying we could sell short here. This market's just going to drop all the way back down here. Okay, but this is going to be a major hit point area. Okay, in that if we are long, make sure we take some profits. Okay, and this could be a beautiful area for a swing trade opportunity. Okay, now before we get up there, I have a couple of other levels that we're going to be looking at that might be a little bit more doable here for today's trading session. Okay, but I definitely just want to put that on the dock, especially because for Phantoms members, where it may hit where we're not maybe trading together in the live trade room. Okay, now if I kind of just zoom in here for today on the daily time frame, emphasizing this daily high, which was yesterday's high here, yesterday's low here, massively wide range bar here. I'll start with the above price first. Okay, and I'll drop down to the smaller time frames in a moment here, but we have a Globex high here, Globex low here, which is the overnight session. Okay, so in the event that we break this overnight high, okay, we do have yesterday's high as an area of interest. Okay, for what's called a G trap bearish. Above this yesterday's high, we have a weekly high here at 68.52. Okay, and this could be a liquidity sweep here for today. Okay, now right above that team, I already had kind of planned a trade for the team here at this supply level. You might want to write this down: 6860, 6870. Okay, there is a drop basing, not the greatest one here, but there is a supply level, I should say, above this weekly high and above yesterday's high here. Okay, so 60 and 70, the last two digits there, 6860, 6870. That could be a supply level where we could potentially take a G trap bearish for today, and that would be above this weekly high, of course, above this Globex high in the event that we get above there. Okay, so that's one of the things that I'm looking at here today. Again, stop loss. Stop loss on this would be about the 68.85. That's kind of what I priced out for this. So it kind of looks something like this. I'd have to re-put the orders in as they canceled. But I got to re-put these in. All right, so it kind of looks something like this, where yes, it's a bit of a wider zone there because I don't want to get. I want to have some space in the event that we have a spike rally, so not get spiked out as a stop loss. Okay, so it looks something like this, where selling short up into the 68.60, okay, 68.70 area. Had two kind of levels there with stop loss at 68.85. All right, and we'll be targeting at least something where we'll have maybe like a Globex low or something like that. So I'll be looking at something for a mean reversion to the downside here. All right, that may take another day or two to potentially hit. All right, but emphasizing, of course, that monthly high there, which would be a bigger opportunity as we have a monthly time frame there. All right, now below price, we have this Globex low. We have a bunch of levels that we kind of got blown out here. So we had this previous weekly high here that was a weekly high, and it got blasted out, right? And so what I'm using there for today is, you'll see on the smaller time frames in a moment, I'm using this area here, location, if you will, as a kind of retest to the other side. And that would be below Globex low. All right, we were talking about this yesterday as a team. There's a couple levels that were, smaller time frames, basing impulse in here that the market's kind of just put in a foot for the day, give or take. All right, but in the event that we break this Globex low, I'll be looking at this 6760, 6748, okay, as a retest level here on the other side. All right, I'll drop down to a small time frame right now. Let's just do it. What's going on, Quality Transportation? Good to see you, brother. All right, 60-minute time frame here now on the S&P futures on the right. And again, I just sneaked over to the daily on the left here. All right, so here's the Globex high, Globex low overnight session. All right, marked out in gray there. Just marked that out in gray. And what you want to look for is a demand level below the Globex low. Okay, so if I look down to the left here, here's the current price. If I look down to the left, this is all just one massively wide range bar, leg bar here, right? So what we had to do here, and we have to emphasize, yes, if we come all the way back down here, there's some demand, etc. A couple of days ago, whatever, we were talking about these Globex straps here and how this market might be putting in a base for a potential break. That happened, kind of crazy, all in very quickly. But this is all one wide range bar here, so I have to kind of drop down at least for today's session or two for tomorrow to finish up the week potentially. I have to drop down to a small time frame. You always have to be a bit more careful with this when you drop it down to a very small time frame. But to get to the point, here's the Globex low. I am looking down and left over here to find some IOF levels below said Globex low. Okay, so I already kind of had one planned out yesterday. If we kind of zoom in here on this, this is a decent little impulse, basic impulse right here. Now I'm on a very small time frame, 2 minute time frame. All right, what's going on? What's going on? Boone, see you, boy. Love you, brother. Hopefully you're well, man. What's going on, brother? I got this level here at 6,775. Call it. Okay, now this would be a bit aggressive. All right, this is a very small time frame. Okay, but this could be what's called an aggressive G trap here today, and it's aggressive because it's a very small time frame level of demand. All right, also have another one here. This one will be less aggressive here. Okay, but I already have kind of a price point here mapped out at the 6,760 down in here at the 6,748. Now remember, what's interesting about this level down here is this is a flip area where this was a weekly high point tag with some supply here. Okay, and then we broke that, we blasted through that, right? So now I'm just looking at this potentially just for today, sub tomorrow, give or take, in that we could potentially have a just retest here on the other side. All right, so hopefully this makes some sense there. All right, so this could be also another area here for a G-trap bullish here. If short will TP, some bearishness, and this could be an area where we can have some, could take a shot at some bullish trades. All right, yesterday we had below a Globex low level. NASDAQ hit this level beautifully and just ripped. S&Ps didn't quite get there, so we still have that level on the S&Ps there. So we get 2 levels down here, all right, for some G-trapping here, if you will. We already kind of spoke a bit about the level above, okay, but above this Globex high. Love you too, bro. Boone, my man, Boone. We got Globex high here. I mean, I guess if you want to be aggressive, super aggressive, I know some aggressive traders, that are trained up in here with some phantoms. You might be looking at this level here. This would be a super aggressive G-trap bearish. It is a supply level, just kind of yesterday's kind of halt there. But be careful with this. S&P futures comes in here, price point, give or take 68.30 here. This is super aggressive. Short. Be careful with this. All right, but it is above the Globex high. Okay, you almost want to wait above daily and or weekly high up here. Henceforth, why I have these orders here. I was just mentioning here 68.60, 68.70 with a stop loss of 68.85. Okay, up there. So this would be the better level for a pending G trap. You might want to wait for maybe a negative COG here or a negative COG here. Even if this were to get above this last week's high right here, that would be even better. Just as a quick little swipe, better than this here. Okay, so I got that on the board here, but watch out for that level. That's super aggressive. We want it to be above kind of some daily, weekly highs up in that level there. All right. All right, cool. Let me go over the NASDAQ. I got to do this a bit quicker. We got the market opening in about 20 minutes. Switch this back over to the daily. We got a limit at 68.40. 68.40 would be about like up here. Yeah, so you're looking at that supply level here. Yep, I see it, right? We touched it over here. Yep, so you have some supply in here, right? So anything kind of within yesterday's high is going to be a little bit more aggressive than above daily and weekly highs here. All right, but these do qualify as we are above. That would be above Globex high. All right, good job, team. NASDAQ. Good morning, Jeremiah. All right, NASDAQ did swipe above its March high, monthly high. All right, weekly on the left. The next couple of kind of levels and shelf, if you will. We get the February high, next monthly high up there. I'm not sure we're going to get all the way up there, but Watch out for a NASDAQ here. There's a massive shelf here. There's liquidity built up here, I'm sure. So this would be a beautiful, sweet spot to where you can have. I'm actually kind of getting a little excited about this level here on the NASDAQ. This is NASDAQ futures here. I just know, been doing this a long time. There's just a ton of liquidity built up here. So I would not be surprised if in the event this market rips or takes another rip. I don't know if it's going to happen today or if it is going to even happen, but if it does, okay, this would be, I could just tell breakout traders would be so excited to break out above here. So they'll get trapped. Okay. And anybody who's hanging on to shorts, like, oh man, this market's back up, we're bearish. It's like, man, if we break this level, I got to watch out because, get stopped out because, we could fill this void or this space here, if you will. So with not a lot of time to explain this much in detail, when you see something like this, okay, this is going to be a beautiful area for some liquidity sweeping, okay? Because if you're bearish and you're short, you're a short or you have a bearish order, right? You're already in. You have to get out as a buy order. So you have to put a buy stop somewhere, right? And so there could be buy stops above here. Now, if we want to sell shorts, like let's say we knew that the market was going to go back down, okay, and maybe not make a new low here, okay, but at least kind of just mean revert, right? As we kind of came up, okay, we went from two standard deviations here, we're up 2 standard deviations up here now, okay. So not calling for a crash, but at least at some point some kind of calm down and mean reversion back here in the middle here. Okay, this would be a beautiful sweet spot. Okay, and again, if you're short, if people who are already short putting their stop loss above this level, buy order. Now, if we want to sell to enter, this would be beautiful to push this price up. This is market making, right? Push this price up. Okay, get those buy order because we want to sell, right? So we have to attack buy orders. Okay, so in the event that we have this push up, people who are short above the levels here, putting their stop loss above here, these are going to be some buy to cover orders. So these buy to cover orders could be an entry to sell short to enter. Okay, I'm giving you a little bit too much sauce here on YouTube for free here. All right, but this is going to be a massive area here for the NASDAQ. And what I'm looking for is a nice little poke above that bad boy here. Okay, do not get some closes here. Maybe put some topping tail wicks in here, and then we could potentially get some kind of mean revert here. All right, now I'm getting all excited, right? But right now current price is 25,041. All right, in the event that we do kind of snap above this March's high, okay, into this and we get above here, this is without question going to be a massive area that I'm going to be excited to put on not only a day trade, but a swing trade and maybe even kind of a little bit of a positional trade, okay, to try to take this back down to a bigger mean revert balance. Okay. Anyways, getting too excited there. This is recorded on YouTube. So, even if you're not a member officially, if you will, you can kind of reference that. All right. But before I move from the daily, let me just show you here real quick as well. Daily bar here, massively big move there. Yesterday, we did swipe a bit above March's high. We had this previous weekly high here with a couple of daily highs here as well. A little bit of a supply level here. The point being here is in the event that we drop back down, again, I'd be looking for kind of a retest area down into this area here. Okay, so I already kind of have that kind of mapped out. I'm going to drop down to a small time frame in a moment. All right, above price, we could even just be looking above yesterday's high, and this is going to be above March's high as well. This could be a quick little liquidity sweep here. I also have above this daily high and March's high supply level up here in the NASDAQ here, 25,364. Okay, so there's just a ton of stuff above. Okay, in the event that we do potentially rally up, dropping down to a small time frame. Good job, quality transportation, my man. All right, up here we have a supply level, of course, 25K 210. Great, that would be nice for a G trap up here. We do have this little guy right here. This would be super aggressive. I'd be careful with this, especially in the NASDAQ. I almost don't even want to put that on the board as much. All right, below Globex low, I have to go to a very small time frame, very similar to, say the S&P futures. Okay, got a nice little base here. Okay, so far in the NASDAQ here. Okay, now yesterday's Globex low was about like where was it? Well, yesterday's Globex low was all the way down there. But we had broke this level yesterday, and this was the basic impulse on the NASDAQ that hit where the S&Ps didn't quite hit. This is a nice little level there that the market put in a bottom. Okay, we were short, take a profit. Okay, now today there's the Globex low. Below here we have this 24,850. That's another bit of a retest level there. The better one, because I have a weekly level yellow associated with this one here, is going to be better here at the 24K. Call it 760. 770. Okay, this better one down here. So this one will be more confluence, if you will, more probability stacked in our favor here for a G trap, long, bullish. All right, if we get that. All right, and again, I had to go to a very small time frame to see, okay, the demand impulse, basic impulse. All right, this one's already been tested. I'm going to gray that out a little bit. This one was broken yesterday. All right, tight Globex range. In the event that we swipe below, could potentially take a shot. NASDAQ is a bit relatively stronger. All right, so this one might be okay to take a bit of a shot there. 24,850. All right, the better one, of course, is going to be 767, 750 down here. All right. And yeah, above price again, above yesterday's high, this monthly high. If you want to get new liquidity, you're going to be looking at the 25K 360 at least at a minimum. All right, which would be a supply level above not only Globex high here, but even above yesterday's high as well. All right, so that could be a case where if we kind of blow through this, which we may or may not, all right, that would be new liquidity for at some point, new higher high for some kind of mean revert there. All right, kind of going too deep into the weeds here. We got to keep it pushing and moving. It's already 9:17. What a beautiful chart. KK, my man. Okay. Just take a peek at gold real quick. Gold futures. I'm long gold futures. No secret there. With the Phantoms group, swing trade off this 42.50 handle. Hit some targets yesterday on this. I've been mentioning in gold, deep pull back into the monthlies and weeklies over here. Great hold now. We've just been kind of grinding, okay, on this move up. We do have some supply up here, drop base, drop up here. I'm sure everybody has this 5,000 mark hit point here. Got a monthly on the left, weekly in the middle, daily on the right, monthly, weekly, daily gold. Futures, we got the next weekly high is going to be up here at the 50.50 mark here, handle. So in the event that we continue to kind of pop up here and rally, watch out for this 5K mark there. Even number 5K, I think everybody's looking at this. Even my grandmother, who doesn't even know how to trade or chart, can probably look at this supply level there. So it's kind of obvious, but it's there. You got to respect it. But looking for potential, seeing if I get up into this 50-50. I got some TPs laid out up here, up into the 5,000. I got long gold futures, had to roll 42.50 here. This was 100 points, 150 points against me. But got a nice trade here. TP had a TP yesterday pending at this daily high. I'm telling y'all right now, I have TP pending up here, even front running the 5,000 here at the 49.60 up into the 50-50 handle here. All right. We have supply up here as well, but we have this bridge to cross first. We have to watch out here too, because, this is kind of a correctional, right now this could be, we deeper corrected. So right now this could be an impulse move, which could take us into closer to the highs here, up here to the 53, 52 handle. All right. But, we'll see about that. We're claiming back above the 20 PM moving average here, right? So we did put in a little bit of a topping tail there, but if I look at the monthly and the weekly, okay, we're still up overall on the monthlies and the weeklies, okay, with a nice little capitulation swipe lower here. So we're just grinding here. So again, still emphasizing, of course, the bullishness in gold because of the higher time frame. So you even had a discussion last week in the trade room. Somebody was mentioning about gold, trying to short below a 2-minute time frame of 20 PM moving average. And I'm like, that's a very small time frame, right? So look at the monthlies and the weeklies and the dailies, etc. And you might be better off looking to get some bullishness, okay? Which I'm hoping that person listened, because as we based here, we had high lows in the 60. We had that nice little pop there. Anyways, that's old. We have Globex low here today. We have Globex high here today, right? And so Globex low, below Globex low, we do have levels of demand here. Still have all these mapped out. These are old Globex traps here that, if you were taking those into the bullish side due to the multi-weekly dailies still up, you have some opportunity to take advantage of the upside there, right? For today, if we do break the Globex low, we do have this impulse demand level right here, okay? So structure-wise, that's decent, 4,700, give or take, okay? Kind of obvious, so watch out with this, but, it qualifies, right, as a G-trap. And in the event that we do kind of break below there, this is going to be a daily low from Tuesday. So just watch out as a liquidity sweeper always. you might be able to still get down into this area here, okay, for also some G traps. So I'll just leave those on the board there, okay, and these are also going to be some daily lows in there as well. Okay, so I can just make this kind of box, if you will, a blue, darker blue here, as that would be the color code, of course, for daily, right? So we get some daily lows down in here. So in the event that we kind of snap this level 4,700, which is an impulse basing, nice little rally there for a Globex trap. Okay, we still have these levels here to pick up some bullishness. All right, what I would say, watch out with these supply zones above, say, Globex high. You know, again, the monthly and the weekly and daily still drifting higher. Okay, so you know, these short-term intermediate levels here could, you know, we might get a correction out of here, right? But they could blow, they could blow out as this overall gold is giving us a nice little base here. Okay, and if you look at the 20-period moving average on the daily, the 200, okay, we're kind of reclaiming that. Okay, so this is where markets get a bit more aligned. Okay, where price action is trading above the 20 and the 200 across all three major time frames on the monthly and the weekly and the daily. Okay. All right, we got 9 minutes. I got to keep it moving. That's gold futures. We got CL, which is crude, hot right now. Of course, just hot, super sensitive. And we got the monthly over here on the left. We got a weekly here in the middle, and we got a daily on the right. And what's crazy about this is we kind of chatted about this yesterday, and I was talking in regard to which out with crude, just because of it's very sensitive to just anything in terms of headline news, right? And we don't even know what's going to be said next, right? At least with planned economic news, it's like, okay, Fed speaking next week, we know that, okay? But anything can be said at any moment these days with the issue that we're having right now globally. So, and crude is a very sensitive one to that. Anyways, case in point is I was talking to the team yesterday and mentioning that watch out, be patient with this. When we have a market like this where we get these big swipes up and down, you have to look at the higher time frames always. So monthly, weekly, daily level is going to set you free here. And we were talking about this yesterday in that, you know, even below here, okay, the next weekly low is here at 84, okay? And we had a couple of daily lows in here as well, okay? You know, 92, 89, we even have one here at 86, okay? And we're swiping below these monthlies, well, not really monthly because monthly's all the way down here and up there, but the next weekly low is here, next weekly low is there, got yellow price points there, but we had a couple of daily lows in here, of course, with some daily demand as well, okay? So when you get markets that swipe very aggressively, the higher time frames, okay, I'm gonna be careful if you're dropping down to anything below a daily, okay? Now, of course, we could drop down and refine, but the monthly, weekly, and daily highs and lows are going to be extremely important in regard to high volatility, okay? If you look at this is a daily low here with a couple of daily lows, okay? And it swiped all the way below here, getting deeper in, closer to some demand, okay? Swiping below these dailies, right? I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I mean, we'll see, but 84 is the weekly low, the next weekly low below here. I'm not sure if we're going to get all the way down there, but that could swipe. You got to prepare for that. All right. Before that, however, we still do have a couple of daily lows in here that you could potentially use in the event that we swipe, okay, below here. All right, 86 handle, 86 half. Looks like it's going to be a dueling daily low down in here. Might be a little bit interesting there to pick up some bullishness, right? And again, oil is not really a trending market at the moment. It's a very wide range. You want to be careful when you're diddling in the middle. You want to get to the extremes of this, right? So this would be a little more of extreme down here. We would need an aggressive kind of spike down there to get that filled. All right. To the upside, you know, you just got to be careful with shorting this thing. You know, I know the world really is going to be having some issues in the event that, you know, crude holds above, you know, kind of 115, 120-ish, give or take. All right. But, you know, levels here, daily highs, right? You got daily highs here. All right, just be patient with that. Don't get steamrolled on this. You almost want to have this get extreme back to the upside here to potentially take what's called like a mean reversion. All right, so just be careful you are trading crude. All right, this thing can just move on you very quickly there. So you want to make sure that you have your orders kind of placed and don't get kind of screwed in the middle there. All right, moving on, we got to go over to the VIX volatility index. And we got a VIX back down 21, elevated, but off of the elevation of, you know, 30/25, 28 VIX that we kind of been comfortable here. All you got to know about VIX, well, there's a lot more to it, but VIX up, market down, VIX down, market up. It's an inverse opposite correlation. Okay, so we had a massive gap down yesterday. Actually, one of the bigger moves in VIX going down on a volatility crush lower. All right, and so as the VIX was down, the market was up pretty hefty yesterday, right? So we're going to map out, just like we did in the S&P's, NASDAQ, gold, futures, overnight high, overnight low. We're going to do that in VIX as well. Here's the overnight high in VIX. Here's the overnight low in VIX. All right. Very quiet VIX right now. If the VIX spikes up and goes above yesterday's high, and not just a quick spike and fade, but it continues to kind of spike up and trend up, that would be more bearish for the market. All right, VIX up, market down. All right, I just kind of pinned last where I seen it there, and then we got if the VIX stays or remains down or remains quiet and kind of trickles down and remains down, etc., and even trends down, that could be more bullish for the market. So just think of opposites attract, right? Market up, or sorry, I should say VIX up, market down. VIX down, market up. That's the simplest I can make it there. If you do know any volatility or the volatility game or the business, I should say, of volatility, a lot more to that. But we got the market opening in about 3-4 minutes here. So I don't have enough time to talk about that. S&P spies here. We've got a weekly on the left. We've got a daily on the right. Watch out for this weekly high up here. Okay, I got a March high up there. This weekly high on S&P 683 handle up there. I'm not sure if we're going to get up there today, but get an emphasis on that. We already kind of spoke a little bit about in futures as well, kind of what's exciting about up here as well. All right, now we have a big, massive gap up. Okay, that left a massive unfilled gap. So one of the things that I want to just say here, just be careful, because when people see this massive gap up, they just want, let me short the market. It's going to fill the gap very quickly. Be careful with that. Okay, markets take time to digest. Okay, there's going to be potentially some trapping here during regular trading hours below here for this gap fill here. All right, a lot of the work was done overnight on this, and I wouldn't be surprised if on the way back down at some point a lot of the work back down will be done overnight as well. But during regular trading session hours, just be careful. A little bit of my experience talking here in that as we start to break below these lows, etc., if we start to get lower, just watch out. Okay, because everybody and their grandmother is going to be looking for this gap to fill for like an ultimate short. Okay, so don't get your face ripped off chasing price lower. Okay, so just be careful with that. Now I will say here today we have a little bit of a doji bar yesterday. Okay, we have a gap down here today, close here, pre-market quote, gapping down, nothing crazy, 0.2. I'm going to take that information and go over into the SPX. This is where I'll probably lose a lot of folks here, as this is an advanced concept. I don't have enough time to explain this even right now to set up levels. 0.2 SPX here down, give or take, implied open about 67.70, give or take, right? 67.70. And so if I go over to the options tool that we kind of use here, this is options depth. It's a paid service that I use here, and some of the Phantoms members use. But in short, man, I don't even have time to explain. I'm just going to go straight to the point here, 6770. See where we're going to be opening up here, 6770. I'm going to capture all of this here. Market maker gamma exposure, 6770. We're about here, give or take, right? Gapping up about here. Key note: we do have a spread here below. This is pretty massive. We have a bull put credit here, so we have a bear call credit here. 6770 here. We do have a little bit of a negative gamma below us. Okay, and then this spread is going to provide, at least at a minimum, some kind of potential support here. So I'm going to map out this 6740 here. Bell's about to ring, man. Never have enough time. And even if I started the session an hour earlier, still wouldn't be enough time. So 6740. I want to put 6740 on the dock. That's yesterday's low at or around. All right. So because that is a positive market maker gamma node here, okay, that could be providing some support here. There is a spread, so this might be taking some heat in the event that we get down there. Above price, nothing too crazy as an outlier up until 68.20. That's all the way up there. But I do want to take a peek at this level right here, 67.80, which is what basically we're opening up right now on. So above that one is 6,800, which I already have a line on there. All right, so this could be used as some positive gamma, which is going to be a pushback of supply here. But we just opened right now. So let me get to that. 6,800 has a bit of a positive gamma node there above. We can provide some supply. All right. Market open. Well, I'm going to pull a daily VWAP. let's see. Slows my computer down so much. Restream. Amazon has relative strength gap up. Amazon has a bit of a pain gap relative strength up. We are outside of 2 STDs though on it. You gotta be a little careful on it. Microsoft relative weakness. Indexes want to be a bit patient here as we're kind of opening up already in balance for now. Microsoft has relative weakness, team. You know, we are coming into an intermediate level of demand. Might be a wide range bar to lean against here. So you get some bot put. This could pull back on us here. We do have an intermediate level of demand, but the daily gap is pretty aggressive there. Not that aggressive. All right, but Microsoft puts day trade. MSFT here. Yeah, if you're quicker than me, because this thing's freezing up like it always does, we're trading 369. You can maybe pick up the next strike out of the money here. Let me do it over here. Kind of annoying. This Microsoft already giving away some profitability here. Let's pick up the I'll pick up the 365 strike put. It's going for about $1.30 ish. All right, this is bought put bearish Microsoft. $365 strike put just for tomorrow's expiration. Relative weakness at the moment. The video taking a clip. All right, this is bought put bearish. Reds or sells are bearish. Blues would be buys. This daily low, not yesterday's low, but these would be some TPs down here. All right, next daily low would be here. All right, you can even peel out of some if you want now. Not much, but you can already TP some of the Microsoft here if you'd like. All right, I'll peel out of some here. Towel! Don't forget to bring a towel. right, another new low. We can TP some more here. All right, taking some more profit on Microsoft here. All right. Just getting started. Broadcom, AVGO. Looking good for bullishness here. Clearing that weekly. AVGO long call. Got to get it. AVGO bullish. Bullish, 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 bullish. Don't leave without me. Let's pick up the 360. This is already pumping, so we can get a pullback on this. Be careful. This is going. I'm a little bit late to this. We had a positive COG about a minute ago. It's going, man. But this could pull back on us. All right. This is the 360 strike call. I would maybe not put full size on. This could pull back, so maybe see if we can build into it. But just got to grab some here. AVGO 360 strike call bullish. Massive relative strength here at the moment. All right, copy this code, bring it over here. All right. Alrighty then. So the better entry would have been right there. So all good. Got it a bit up here. Clearing some weeklies. We get the next daily / weekly high up here. So this would be great for some targets here. All right, team. Why is Microsoft going down? Because that's what stocks do. Some they go up and they go down. They go up, they go down. Sometimes they go sideways. It's more supply than demand. We could put some limit orders in here. What is a market? What is a stock? All right, you could limit orders to potentially add in here. Yeah, not the greatest price, Samantha. Kind of a gross price, right, Samantha Gross? Would have been a little bit better here for that pop there, but this is why, you know, we can limit orders to add in here now. So to stay focused, right? So on the premium, if I go back over here, right, this is what we're talking about. So like these could kind of almost caught these for like 220 maybe. So I mean, we could see if we could try to get these here. You could throw in a limit order here, 220 on this premium here to add. All right, I'll even throw one in here at $1.80. All right, I'll add more here, more size at $1.80. All right, so that was the annoying thing. This is limits. I saw the candle close, and then by the time, you know, just already like took off there. All right, so you got to be a little bit careful with this. We got some limits in here, okay? All right, limits to add. 221.80. Premium price for the 360 call. Microsoft is going down due to an exec stepping down in overall market sentiment. Thank you. I mean, then why'd you ask? And that's information that I don't even give a shit because I just rip tape. So, like, good job. Cool. You know how to read a document. I don't give a fuck about news. So, you sounding smart, I don't give a fuck. I just ripped the tape. Hopefully I'll TP to Microsoft there. We're still at VWAP right now. TP to them. All right, AVGO. All right, got that in. Bro read a CNBC article. Nice. I don't give a fuck. All right. Let's see. We do have this. Yeah, we got VIX on lows. I got to get long. I have to get long some S&Ps here. So it's telling me here so far. All right, have to watch out with that Microsoft there. All right, so I'm going to snag in some SPYs here. We got VIX on lows. Bro, I've been doing this for 16 years, man. When I first started trading, I used to get up and read all the shit and blah, blah, blah. All I did was lose. Come on, man. I'm trying to get long calls here. This computer's, everything, all this restream shit slows everything down. So try to get long calls, team, on SPYs. Annoying, but I guess I'll just pick up the 677 here. This is SPYs. I actually ended up doing tomorrow's expiration here. I meant to do today's. This is tomorrow's. But let me make it consistent with the other account here, so I got to do it. I meant to do today's. We got Meta reclaiming its VWAP. All right. So this is actually tomorrow's expiration. Yeah, I didn't really mean that. You could do today's. You know, same strike. I'm not really enthused about this bullishness right now, but it's still in Globex. But long call to 677 strike. Well, this will be, you know, if this fails, we'll see. But you can use tomorrow. I mean, today's expiration. That's what I actually meant to do. All right, AVGO. Pulling back there. All right, got filled some here. Let me get it over here in this other account. All right, so I filled some more AVGO there, right? All right, still get the fills there. Let me just check the actual chart itself. All right, still looking good. So we got a VWAP tag here. All right, so the 180 premium price, if that fills, probably going to be at around down here. So we'll see. All right, so kind of building into this. We'll see. Microsoft, you got to be a little cautious with it. Magnificent 7 is all over the place. The Mag 7, it's just all over the place. So, not a cut yet. All right, again, took a quick little trade here off open, no big deal. All right, so we just got to watch out. We're still leaning against this wide range bar here, but that might be too much space there. But a little cautious with this here. We got Tesla slamming. All right, Tesla has relative weakness. Meta has relative strength. The Magnificent 7 is just all over the place. Oh, you're coming up into some supply on Meta, though. I want to be a bit careful with that. All right, Tesla giving us a setup here. I almost have to go with this puts on Tesla. The SPY bullish, might be cautious with that. Let me prep this account over here, Tesla. We're trading basically 340. Tomorrow's expiration. To maybe even pick up the 335 or the 332. All right, I'll pick up the 335 here. Let's go for like $3. No, don't leave it on me. No. All right, this could have been a better premium price here. So this is definitely could have got a better price on this. So it's bought put bearish. Tesla relative strength. I mean, weakness, 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 weakness. No, we had a little bit of a stage 3 kind of pattern early in the year with the range on January, February, etc. We distributed that a bit already on this, Iran being the catalyst. Right now, the S&P, the markets are on a mean revert. There's no CNBC article on that. You have to know how to trade. All right, we could take some profit here on Tesla. I didn't get a great price on this, so I just want to be a little cautious on this. Microsoft taking another clip lower, team take some profit there. Don't forget to bring a towel. What's your trade plan? I just wake up and I read articles and I tell bad news I sell short, good news I buy, but I always seem to be on the wrong side. All right, Microsoft TP. AVGO struggling. The TP symbol Microsoft here. Amazon, baby, relative strength, man. That was the one, a little sneaky one there. All right, not a lot of premium here, but green screen nonetheless. She locked in some Tesla. All right, Microsoft giving us a nice little new low here. All right, we'll take some more off Microsoft here. So this Microsoft bearishness. Guess what I didn't do? Look at the news. I just look at the tape. Don't give a fuck about the news. I know that might not sit well. Like, no, news is yeah, okay, man. All right. I guess that's why you're in my trade room, to learn how to actually trade. All right, you know the news. That's the weather report. It's already done. How do you fucking trade it off of it? Roy? All right, some TPs here. AVGO being weird. Still doing its thing though. All right, nice little, even some people might even add it to this. But, you know, I'm messing around, trolling. But in reality, still doing our thing here, right? So CEO, exec, whatever the fuck, exec, left. Okay, I don't even know. I don't give a fuck. This had a price action set up. Doink. TP some more. I spent zero energy on, oh my God, what's it going to do? Microsoft has bad news. I'm just trolling. But it's true, though. All right. Anyways, moving on. You can put your stop loss at break even. That shouldn't hurt you anymore. All right. I got the impulse correction. Impulsion new lower low. Distribution. And we're going to see if we can get down into this area here. Tesla new low. And to TP. Tesla, don't forget to bring a towel. Don't forget to TP this shit. Hurry up and TP some Tesla. Especially because I got it at a bad price. But I don't give a fuck. I'm still going to TP it. Because that's what I do. Don't forget to bring a towel. OTP! Don't forget it! Bro, put the order in before you talk shit, man. Come on, AVGO, man. What are you doing? I'm annoyed. I forgot to bring the towel. Fuck. Dom BD. Dom D, man. I got you, brother. Hold on. My fills on Tesla on the other account are horrendous. Spies, NASDAQ doing absolutely shit. Right into this daily low. AVGO kind of still doing its thing. Microsoft took care of us. S&P's, still just basing, so I got to be careful with that. AVGO needs to slam this thing here. Needs to get back up here, of course. Fade VWAP. I don't know, this might be wrong. Not yet. These did fill, right? The 180s. We get this here in the other account here. The AVGO 180 limit order did fill for the 360 strike, right? I'm just trolling you. Can't you see, by the way, Microsoft is going up again? Do you know why? Oh, whatever. I already ripped the tape on Microsoft. I'm down to runners. So I'm moving on. We got, so Dom DD. Dom DD. Dom DD. Dom DD did not cut those SPY longs. There's no reason to, at least at the moment. All right. I need AVGO to give us a nice pump, and maybe it would be nice. All right. In terms of stages and distribution accumulation here, Dom DD. So we had this. Obviously, this is massive bull market 2025. Okay, great, simple. Here's roughly the new year here, right? Okay, so there's 2020. It's old now, right? 2025 bull market, great pump, right? And then for the first kind of 1-2 months, give or take. Okay, we just kind of remember we were just in this range, kind of annoying. Okay, so that's at highs for the year, right? For last year, right? Markets were up very nicely for the end of the year. Usually, here's the end of or the beginning of 2025, right? So we ended up, roughly speaking, up 17%, almost sub 20, a little bit below 20% for the year. And so usually every year you're going to get some kind of like correctional move, right? Last year was fucking tariffs. Every year there's some shit, right? The Japan carry unwind trade here, etc. Right? Anyways, so this was, it's no secret. Okay, we're on highs. We're basing. This is kind of that quote unquote, kind of just, I don't say distribution, but people are, hard to get long into a new year after the markets are up already 17%, 20% for the year, give or take, right? So that was a bit of a, a stage change where we have a massive uptrend, but then we failed to make new highs, really failed to make new lows, failed to make new highs, failed to make new lows. This was the kind of stage 3 here. Now, this could have been, right, in a parallel universe, this could have been an impulse of basing, and if this market did want to take off, we'd have a breakout, okay, and markets would be, of course, advancing very nicely, right? But we were already at highs, and shit needed to come down, right? Stocks were insanely high, right? The Mag 7 specifically. So now this is a bit of a breakdown stage here, okay, and that's what we were in. Okay, overall, but then we started to get down into that 10% risk profile, these multi-September lows, et cetera. We're talking about this. Okay, so there's your kind of your breakdown stage right here. Okay, but like I said, even with all this shit going on, we did snap kind of the basing and drop down, but again, markets are tagged at that 10%. Usually, you always have to account for a 10% and usually a 20% risk profile tag. Okay, on those September lows. Now, as a phantom group, we were actually planning. I'll let the phantom group, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, or to brag, but as a phantom group, what were we doing down here, team? Were we looking at bullishness or were we looking at bearishness down here on these September lows? I'll let them answer that. I'll let the group answer that. Microsoft new low, TP some. Don't know what that guy was talking about. How it's going back up. It's not. We could TP some here. We got new low on Microsoft. But were we planning? As a group in Phantom, were we planning the bullishness or the bearishness down there? We were planning bullishness down there. Okay. Microsoft TP here. Fixing to take some profit on some Tesla too. Bullishness, right? Take some more profit on Tesla. S&P's Qs are kind of just trying to catch a bid right now. All right, so make sure you lock out on some Tesla. That price, similar to AVGO, was not the greatest. So realize your gain in some Tesla here. Bring your position size either all out or like very small. We are at daily lows on Tesla, team, okay? Yeah, I'll check Google in a moment here. I'm trying to live trade, answer a question, troll some trolls, answer a question, trade tape, stay focused, and take on tickers. My brain. 0 time spent on bullshit ass articles. Straight tape, homie. So there's the drop down, right? There's the quick little quote unquote stage 4 breakdown there, right? Lower low, low high, lower low, low high, etc. Up until we got down into that monthly low there, and that's again that 10% risk profile tag, right? And that's a key hit point, right? And so what's crazy about this is, remember, public is always typically on the wrong side, right? So as you can see, even a couple of weeks ago when markets were dropping, last week, whatever, right? Oh no, markets are touching, correctional mode, bear market, fear, down 10%, right? Right at these multi lows as a potential setup there. Multi time frames are my favorite setups there, right? So, anyways, there goes your breakdown here. And right now, because somebody had asked, are we in a stage 3? No, this was the stage 3. This is the breakdown. And then now what we're in right now is just a one massive mean reversion here. What's ironic about this is this black line right there, that's kind of right here sloping, that is VWAP, volume weighted average price for the year, for the whole year. Okay, so we're literally balancing out, right? Massive bull rally, basing, stage 3 range, no new high, no new low, no new high, no new low. Okay, once you can't get new highs, once you can't get new lows, once you can't get new highs, okay, it's already February, right? In fact, now March, we kind of finally broke down here. Okay, but we broke down into that, right? October, November lows, we were playing off that too. Came down lower. Now we get the 10% tag. Boom. Now we're just on one massive mean reversion here. All right, we can take some profit on AVGO. All right, now the sucky thing about this AVGO is if you get out of some here, the one that you got in up there, if you're still in it, this is going to get, this is going to, this would be realized loss here. All right. All right, but I added here and here, so we need this to go here. Okay, but if you were to TP, if you get out some now, you'd be getting out of some of the potential of the 315 premium price or whatever you got filled on, $3 here, give or take. All right. So we still need some work to do here for AVGO. But I'm hoping this makes sense there, right? So we literally just balanced out right here. All right. So this is actually now if let's say we knew what was going to happen next, this could be the correctional wave for at least what I'm kind of looking for here. We could rally up a bit more. We were talking about that in the pre-market prep, right? But at some point, yes, I mean, we come up into this base range. We're talking about this. This was the actual breakdown itself, January, February low of the trade room that we were talking about. So this was actually the better level that we were talking about a bit here, even though we had levels here that was the quick mean reversion on the 20 EMA here. All right, but we just reclaimed that with that big gap up yesterday and the big move. Okay, so so right now we're literally on. Now this is going to be the mean revert rally up here, and at some point, if we do continue to rally, this could be another, what could be a correctional wave. Like let's say this could be right. This could be a correctional wave here, and we can make a new impulse lower low. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. All right, but at least at a minimum, this whole area here, box up here, this is why I have the monthly, weekly high there. Get the monthly high there. Okay, we could rally up. Okay, but at some point, yes, you know, the way markets work, at some point we'll have some kind of correctional mean reversion here. All right, and I'm sure then the balance will be back again, and we'll see. Okay, is this going to be actual? You know, what's it going to do? Is this the bottom of the market here right now? So at some point we go looking at some kind of mean revert here. All right, hoping that makes sense. All right, member of Phantoms here. TradePhantoms, where we train and trade. So go to TradePhantoms.com. Preston Michaels. Hope that made sense. Dom da DD. We got people in on YouTube all scared. What is this place? Is it real? Is it real? Is it a scam? Is it real? AVGO not following through? No. Is it real? No. We're here to take your money and scam you. Microsoft new low. TP some. Right now, AVGO not looking good. All right, let me go a little Microsoft here. VIX is not really doing much. We haven't done anything in the S&P 500. I mean, VIX is just chilling, at least for right now. It's declines negative, fall D lower. AVGO, no bueno. Warrior ethos. No, I get it. This industry, you got to ask these kind of questions. Preston Michaels, right? So, these, in all seriousness, they are good questions because there's a lot of bullshit out there for reals. So you got to watch out. I get it. There's a lot of scams in this industry, but we're not one of them, man. And frankly, I don't even give a fuck if you sign up or not. I don't give a fuck. Fuck, I gotta give a fuck about. Give a fuck. I'm not here to sell you shit. I'm here to do. And what you see, what I do, I do it. I fucking do it. I hope y'all smacked out of some tests. Law. And indexes right now, team, are just there. Unfortunately, AVGO is it's just in the abyss above here. So you have to watch out because this is the failure to make a new high here. So we got to be extremely careful with this AVGO. This should have yielded equal to or new higher high. We haven't broke the opening day's range here low. All right, so this is not great here, okay, team? Because that is failure. So it went into profitability here. And I mentioned the TP some. I didn't really hit some too much for myself there. All right, but we'll see. All right, it's not looking good here for that. Give it a little bit more time and patience there. You know, Qs are trading below AVGO. It's a wild one there sometimes. All right, are you getting some juice here or what? It's hard to analyze these candles here all in this range. Pretty much all negative gamma here. Down into the 6,750 handle on SPX. All right, so we got to cut those puts on SPOIs. All right, so I'm going to cut these out here. This is SPYs. I gotta go SPYs. Someone's in Qs. TP zone. All right, this is a SPY. I'm gonna just cut these out here for now, at least. I mean, this is just kind of annoying with indexes. So I'm just controlling some risk exposure here, at least for right now. And the VIX is just not giving us anything really, so the VIX is not really giving us much. AVGO still in the game. SPYs are just relatively weaker. All right, so cut this. This is just annoying tape at the moment. We do have negative. I mean, this is all demand, but it's all shitty. Dead smack in the middle of Globex high, Globex low. Adds to the annoyingness. Q's break it down a bit. Grab some puts here. Some SPYs. AVGO. Looks like it's going to be wrong, though. Tesla tagged its VWAP. If you are still in that Tesla trade, you got a nice little clip lower. I'm trying to get this thing to get on here. There we go. Let's see. I'll just snag the at the money here. 674 strike. I'm not even super enthused about this either. But with the AVGO bullish exposure, that is just hanging on by a thread. Some bearish exposure here. I would not be surprised if even these would be wrong in this chop range. I typically don't like to get into an entry or position bullish or bearish when we're dead smack in the middle of the Globex high, Globex low on futures. So, man, I love indexes, but sometimes they could be annoying. All right, I'm just going to be cautious with this. Tight leash, if you will. Not letting us get too far away. How do you spell leash? I don't know. tightrope. I don't know how to spell. So switch out an indexes team. Choppy chop, choppy chop, bullshit. At least at the moment. I hear you, Warrior. I hear you, brother. Why do you mark the highs and lows, Mr. Blues? I don't see Mr. Black doing that. So he does. He just he has the box, and the box would represent where it's lows. But because that's where you have. That's where you have. Let me ask you, if you have a, let's say you have a demand zone, right? Let's say you have a demand zone, and you know, this is just a basic. This is for teaching purposes here. Let's say you have a demand zone here. This is ugly ass demand zone, right? I'll just put the whole thing here. All right, whatever. If you put your demand zone here and you put an entry of said demand zone here, where do you think most people are going to put their stop losses? Where do you think most people are going to put their stop losses? Right below here. How many of y'all have been trading and trading long enough to where you even have a level, the level of demand comes down, especially in futures, swipes you almost as if there's a troll behind your computer specifically targeting your stop loss, right? And then the market immediately reverses, right? So how do you make money trading? You buy low, you sell high, right? Now, in this particular case, someone is doing that, trying to buy low here. All right, but remember, everything is based off liquidity, right? So if I'm a bank in an institution, right, I want to match my orders. I'm giving way too much here on YouTube right now. I want, right, there's going to be liquidity sitting and pending, right? So if somebody were to buy to enter here, this is going to be a buy to enter order, which should be the case. I'm not saying that's bad. That's actually good. Okay. But that's a buy order. And this stop loss order is going to be a sell to exit. Sell to exit order. Now, this sell to exit is a sell order. It's a sell order. Does that make sense? Okay, that's a sell order. So if I want to fill more size and get, right, and get better pricing, good pricing, I want to go attack an area, right, where there's a ton of sell orders so I can buy them up. I can buy them up, right? Does that make sense? Okay. So when I map out the monthly and the weekly and the daily highs, I'm around demand and supply. I'm looking for those monthly, weekly, daily, and again, I'm not doing this on like a small, I'm looking at monthly, weekly, daily highs and lows, right? Because that's where you have the most build up liquidity, right? So those sell to exit orders that are going to be stopping out those traders who are doing the right thesis and area of demand, et cetera, okay? But this is a fat stack of sell orders here. So we can slam it down, right? These people buy to enter, great. Stop them out as they're getting stopped out with their sell orders. This is where we have a lot of sell orders in which we could potentially, as the market maker and institution, buy to enter here, Does that make sense? Because this is where the match of liquidity is going to be. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. That's where that's where you have that match of liquidity. All right. So you'd almost be better off, right? And this is below Globex low, right? So a lot of folks even look at potentially Globex low and say, okay, we break the Globex low, I'm just going to get stopped out here, right? And there goes your stop order, right? This is the thesis for the trap. All right. Now, preferably below Globex low, you want to also find a level of demand below the Globex low, preferably prime, right? Which would be this one here, 6775. I have to accept defeat on AVGO, looks like. And my YouTube, y'all, is right here. Kind of annoying on that. If you got some Q puts, SPY puts, you can start to TP here on the other side here. AVGO still did not break that level, I will say, but the premium's trading 126, which is not great. All right. And that's how I met your mother, at the stop loss point. And that's how I met your mother. All right, preferably monthly, weekly, dailies, etc. All right, still super early. Stopped out of the long, flipped short, whatever, give or take over here. And just micromanaging this range, which is kind of annoying. I got the 674 put. It'd be nice to see if VIX could give us some play. All right, and already trying to TP a little bit here. It's got to flip, learn how to flip, flipped it, but not really exciting here. But super still early, or still super early. But geez, the heck is this, right? So I have some laid out TPs here. Get the 30-minute bar close that we just got put in, and we got a red bar, negative COG for what it's worth, but we're inside a range, so this is going to be less reliable. But we do have this negative COG at a 30-minute time frame here. All right, so red bar lean against. You could be adding into bearishness as we rally up into here. So as long as we're below, daily view up, which is that blue line there. And for what it's worth, I mean, this is the thing. This is a nice little move here, right? Nothing crazy. All right, but did that move take out and make any new lower lows or anything like that, team? It's not. It's not. So remember, this is yesterday's high, yesterday's low. This little move right here did not take out anything, at least for right now yet, right? I mean, we'll see. All right. Now, you know, I'm bearish, right? At least for right now, below this daily VWAP flipped, right? And so you can add on negative COGs here. That might be a little bit more difficult. You have to be careful with this range. But you can also put some limit orders up here to potentially add. All right, so, like, for example, in the 7.4, which we're already in, it's profitable right now. But even if we rallied up a little bit, you might be able to put a limit order in here for like maybe 90 cents, give or take. We're about to go into, so either add here, or we're going to TP some here. All right, AVGO needs some attending to. Ended up being right above that weekly high, kind of a trap abyss. The only annoying thing about this is it still did not break that level there, but we are definitely trading below, of course, VWAP here. So this is not great. Kind of annoying. Samantha Fall game EGO. Yeah, kind of a little annoying on this one here, I will say. I knew buying that right there was not bueno as much, but gave it a little bit of a shot there in the event that it just popped up to the next weekly here. It's all wicks here, nothing crazy to stop it. Hence we have to get the pullback orders here. The pullback orders were great, not bad, right? But because if you got in here, your average fill is not great. I mean, it did go into overall profitability depending on how you scaled in. It still might be able to work out, but I don't like to just say, "Hey, please hope, please hope, please hope, please hope," that it goes. You got TP some spies here, new low. Qs if you got it. I mean, this is not really an exciting kind of day as much. So again, after all this stuff that's going on in the backdrop, I mean, you would think that we get some more movement out here. We're still just inside of, we're still inside of yesterday's overnight range in S&Ps and NASDAQ. So that should tell you something there. I mean, SPX has some kind of a traction price here, 6.750, 6.740 with this 10 wide debit spread here. Wait, this is sold calls. This isn't even puts. Bought call. Weird tape. Costco. Fall through on Costco. Nice bar close yesterday. Nice fall through. We've been covering Microsoft a lot. Atoma. In the trade room, because I know a lot of folks are focused on Microsoft, as they should be, with even some longer term play. But I'm not going to go too much in detail in regard to it, but I was actually, before we got this rip up this week, I was actually looking to sell some puts willing to own here at the 330 handle. So we just spoke a little bit about, now there's a ton of levels in here. This chart's really all marked up and kind of messy with the notes, etc. But, you know, a lot of folks are looking at, so check this out. A lot of folks are looking at 360s, right? And all that, right? Which we're in right now. This whole massive, like, you know, demand level, right? But what did we just speak about, team? Like, for example, if this market's not done, you know, kind of, you know, going down, I'm sorry, if this market's not done going down, and if we are going to continue to go down, that might be able to take Microsoft down, okay? So this is last year's low with this level here. If I kind of just take this whole yellow box out so you can see a little bit better there. What I'm looking for to see if it happens, I don't know, but it would be great if it does, is this is going to be a prime level down here. Decent, right? So I would love to sell some puts at 330. What I'm looking for is, as everybody is potentially looking at this level here, everybody's talking about this Microsoft whole level here, right? This whole area here. If people are trying to build up here, and everybody and their grandmother's talking about it, I don't like it. Where could they be potentially putting their stop losses? Where? Right below, say, this level here. Does that make sense? So I'm actually looking and seeing if we're going to be waiting to see if we could potentially swipe below here, and this would be a nice prime level right there on the week, because we have a nice breakout move. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so this is coming back into this area here. I get why everybody's interested. You almost should be interested in it. I totally get it in terms of area/location. Microsoft is indeed, of course, off the highs, all-time highs. That is roughly, 35%. That's not bad. That's good, right? If you wanted to buy low, okay. In the event that we swipe out below this level, man, you might be able to get this like maybe 40%, sub 40, 45%, off the highs, right? Does that make sense? So in short, what I'm looking for is, again, I don't know if it's going to happen. All right. Again, you can go and see, very simply put, here's these lows here. Okay. You can pick your poison. For some folks, might be even looking at this level in the event, the 350 handle. Okay. In the event that we, maybe don't get down here. Okay. But again, if you are looking at this level right here, what I would suggest is to not put your stop loss, especially in a long-term portfolio. Okay. Right below here. Okay. Because you're just asking to be market maker shock bait. What we just spoke about right there. So I'm actually going to be looking to attack this level. Okay. Down here. And it would be great if we got below that level and, slammed potentially into this beautiful level here, which is the trend change officially in the higher time frames back from 2 years ago, give or take. All right, so 330 is the longer term. I have my notes there, right? Longer term play where I have no problem, buying those shares down here. I'm selling some puts. I'll be selling some puts on drop days, down days. A little bit too far away from it right now. I've been checking the premium on this. So if we kind of get down into this area here, I'm going to start to sell some puts for willing to own here. Okay, with emphasis of a sweep right here, which I can even maybe pick up a little bit some shares here as well. All right, so if we get down here, I'll sell some puts willing to own here at the 330, 320 handle. This whole area here is what I'm looking at. All right, but I will maybe pick up a little bit of shares here for a long-term portfolio. Small shares here, as I want to get in some, if that is going to happen. All right, but at the time we get down here, I'm going to sell some puts pretty heavier down here, because I would like to get a lot more shares down here. All right, so I want to get heavier here. All right, and guess what? I don't give a fuck what the heck the execs are doing, what this is doing, what that's doing. Anytime that I would look all in that kind of information, all right, that's all going to be past tense anyways. All right, right? Because even if you are looking at the fundamentals, your entry of price point in terms of the stock price you're getting into, okay, is important. So I want to get that extremely low. You would probably almost need bad news, right? If you think about it, team, in closing, because I got to end this session here. This market's choppy, but in closing, during the 2008 crash, during all these crashes, during all these things that in the world where things get kind of crazy and things like that, if you look back in time, in order to buy stocks low, don't you kind of need bad news for the stocks to come down at lower prices, so therefore you can invest into it long term, right? This is why people say, the richer get richer, the poor get poorer, because during times of turmoil and things like that, and people that are not trained and know how markets work, okay, they usually get out as markets are dropping lower because they're scared, right? right? The cliche phrase, Warren Buffett, be greedy when others are fearful, be fearful when others are greedy, right? Warren Buffett loves to buy stock when it's fucking 30, 40% off. Does that make sense? That's right. You do the same thing on the Amazon cart. You waiting for shit to go on sale, right? But when stocks come down lower, people get scared out of that, right? And that's the time to kind of get in, right? So again, Microsoft is down 30%. Not sure technical wise. Okay, ton of liquidity here. This would be prime level in terms of IOF down here at the 330. I have no problem because what I want to do in the long-term portfolio is get into a stock and not have to worry about it, right? I wanted to get low. I want to buy low, get down there, okay, and then hold that, right? I'm not going to be day trading it like how we're doing here on a couple, day trades, right? It's a different style, right? So I want to be on the higher time frames, monthly, weeklies, essentially. Look for these sweeps, okay, and see if we can get those price points at those there. Now, if you don't know options, you have to wait for the actual price point to get there, okay? But the cool thing about options is we can begin to sell some puts at areas where we are willing to actually own, kind of like a Warren Buffett style, which we do. We actually talk about this in class. I talk about this a lot more deeper in class, and that is one way, one powerful way to get into some prices of stock that are lower, right? While price is not there just yet. All right, but if I were to sell a 330 put here, we do have a decent little down day here. But if I were to look at Microsoft sold put at 330 strike, this is the time to add. Anybody put these limit orders in at $1 or down here? This is the time to add on these 5 puts. But I'm going to close this session up here. So this is kind of annoying tape. If I look at a Microsoft, let's say I went out, next month, May here. I don't know if we're going to get some premium. I don't know how much premium we're going to get on this, but if I go to 330, it's actually not too bad. 330, you can collect roughly $400 here. Controlling 100 shares, using 100 shares. So it costs you about 33 grand in margin to sell a cash secured put at Microsoft 330 for, May 15th, the next month, the expiration there. And, collect maybe like $400 $410 over 33K. It's about a 1.2% return in 36 days. Willing to own Microsoft at 330, which is all the way down here. That's trading 366. Okay. So you can sell. Now, you have to be willing to own, okay? So if you want to buy MSFT for longer term portfolio, you can begin to, if this is the price point area, okay, even the May, what was it, 26th? Expiration, May 15th expiration. I'm not really building that much, at least for right now, today, just due to the way my price action is at the moment. That would be right now would be the time to kind of add into some SPY puts if you would want to trade that. Amazon's doing its thing, but because we're dead smack in the middle of the it's already almost 11 o'clock, team, and we're still dead smack in the middle of the Globex high, Globex low overnight range. So no, I'm not. You got to know when to do something and when not to do something. So I'm not personally. All right. So this is May 15th expiration. And right now, if he sold it today, it's about a 0.2% return, okay, of what's called a cash secured put. Because if you wanted to buy 100 shares of Microsoft at $330, well, it's going to cost you, multiply by 100 shares, about that much margin there, right? 33K. And about what, 400, if you were to deploy right now, you'd collect about what, $410. And if Microsoft doesn't get down here at all, you'd get to keep that $400 or 1.2% return on cash secured put sale, wanting to own Microsoft at 330. All right. If it doesn't get down there by May 15th, all right, guess what? You get to keep that 410, and you can do it again next month. Okay. So you can literally sell puts, okay, at prices where you're willing to own and want to own it. If it doesn't get there, you get to keep that premium there. And if it does get there, okay, you reduce your cost there. You're buying yourself some 4 points. So now you're actually, since you're collecting that $4, okay, you're actually your break even would come down to 326, okay, because you're keeping that premium there. All right, but I'm saying too much. Well, not really. It's pretty simple shit, but you'll be surprised how many people enter this business and think that they're just going to, just get it simply put. If you want to learn more about this, be careful, my Phantoms members. It is, look at Amazon doing its thing. That was the best one, pre-market prep. It's showing its hand right now, which is good. If you go to TradePhantoms.com, this is where most of the Phantoms, or every Phantom member starts. All right, and you'd put your name, email, phone number, all that. Click at 10 to get registered for a class. That's tonight, actually, 9 to 7 p.m. Eastern. All right, you'll get hosted by the Mr. Black, the Mr. Green. This is the agenda here, how markets work. We're all professionals here, right? Stocks, futures, forex, options, even crypto these days, right? Trading, short-term income there. We actually just had a little chat in regard to even some long-term wealth management and or style or trading as well. So whether you're trading, just starting out your career, trading a little bit for some side income, all the way to we have members that are literally in their retirement years, no age, not to put age into it, managing their wealth. Okay, that's okay. Come one, come all, doesn't matter. All right. And yeah, I'm going to tell you the way it is, real deal. No bullshit here, man. I'm going to tell you straight up. All right, this is a skill set that you need to develop. All right, so if you think this is the get rich quick scheme and all this kind of bullshit, man, this might not be the place for you. We're not for everybody. Okay, looking for people who are serious. Okay, that are looking to get trained up. Okay, and become self-efficient. Okay, consistently profitable traders. All right, that's it. And if that's a place that doesn't sound like that's for you, okay, cool. Shake your hand and say, fucking see it. We'll continue to do our thing with the people that want to learn. We got some people now. Mark Wahlberg, man, not this guy's literally to the point where he's like a professional trader. Okay, so not only do you have Blue, myself, Mr. Black, Mr. Green, you also have a team that's been around for a little while now that is growing tenfold exponentially every single week. Okay, so teamwork makes the dream work, baby. That's it. I'm out. I'll see some of y'all later today in class, and of course tomorrow being Friday, we're gonna clean up this week. I'm hoping that we get some movement. Even later today, and or I'm hoping at least, come on, man, tomorrow. All right, keep your cards tight today. A little rangy. Opening for a couple of hours now already, and completely not doing shit. So just be patient with yourself in the market. They will be better setups in terms of indexes. So make sure you keep your risk allocation protected for when things open up a bit better in terms of price action. I'm out. God bless. Blue out.